Hello and welcome. This is a presentation about the Hebrew letter Mem. The Hebrew letter Mem, which means water. Mem is the 13th of 22 Hebrew letters and is associated Kabbalistically with the Hanged Man. And it's the Hanged Man tarot card. So the Hanged Man tarot card is associated with the Hebrew letter Mem. And they're both associated with water, okay, because Mem means water. M-E-M. All right, now the Hangman card is numbered as the 12th major arcana in many conventional decks. Mem is a vertical path which is located between the 5th Sephirah of Geburah, meaning severity, associated with the planet Mars. So it's going to be between Geburah, the Sephirah of Geburah, severity, Mars, and the 8th Sephirah of H.O.A.F, meaning splendor, corresponding to the planet Mercury. So it's the vertical path is Mem. That's the Hebrew letter Mem, this vertical path. Okay? Now traditionally, the 22 major arcana of the tarot cards are each associated Kabbalistically with a Hebrew letter, which in turn corresponds to one of the 12 zodiac signs, one of the signs of the zodiac, one of the 7 ancient planets, or also can be associated with one of the 3 elements with one card and letter overlapping, both pertaining to the element of Earth and one of the planets. And we'll tell you what that is when we get to that card and that letter. Now, Mem is the 23rd. Mem is the 23rd path. The 23rd path, this path between Geburah and H.O.A.F, between Geburah and H.O.A.F, it's Mem. It's the 23rd of 32 paths found on the Tree of Life. Okay, and this is the Tree of Life. And there's the 11th invisible Sephirah of the Ath between Kether at the top, which might be hard to see because it's white on white here, with just a small outline. And each of these Sephirah, not counting the visible Sephirah of the Ath, that means knowledge, throat chakra, not counting that. But of the 10 Sephirah that are not counting the Ath, the 10 Sephirah and the 22 paths give you 32 paths, because even though the Sephirah are consolidated energy, it's not stagnant energy. Although the energy slows down in each of these Sephirot as the energy flows through, it's a holding tank, but it slows it down and processes it into the energy of the Sephirah, but it doesn't stop the energy. So each Sephirah is actually considered to be a path also. So there's 32 paths, and Mem is the 23rd path between the 5th Sephirah of Geburah and the 8th Sephirah of H.O.A.F. Okay, and again, Mars for Geburah and Mercury for H.O.A.F. And what happens is you get these energies, and the energy of Mars, in Geburah it's transmitting energy to H.O.A.F. So Mars to Mercury. So you see, those are the energies that are going to be in the formula, and Mem is part of that formula. So it's like when you're doing mathematics, they're formulas, and that's actually what enchantment is about when you do it in a very scientifically, because magic is an art and a science, just like medicine is an art and a science. It's the same thing, and that's the very scientific part of it. But there's, that you have to think about a little bit, but there's also an intuitive part and an artistic part of it with your right brain and left brain, yeah? And that's how you have a lot of, when you want to make an amulet or a rosary for certain situations or certain conditions that you want to ameliorate, that's how it's done, okay? And that's how the different energies of things are utilized. And it's not that it's superstition or hocus pocus where you say that, this incense or this gemstone or this metal is good for this, or this plant is good for this kind of energy of Mercury or this kind of energy of Mars. These are actually real energies that exist on the higher planes, that it manifests in the physical plane as Quicksilver, or as the planet Mercury, or as iron, or as the planet Mars, and also the various human attributes like logic for Mercury, and the courage and strength for Mars, these kinds of things, and even red blood cells. Red blood cells are like ruled by Gebura. So these things manifest physically, but the energies that create it are angelic energies that are higher energies, okay? Okay? Higher energies that manifest. Now, that's how that works. Now, before we continue, I'm Pastor Rosemary, the Astrology Angel, and I'm a Rosicrucian seer, biblical astrologer, Christian psychic, and Gnostic mystic, and this is a Readings by Rosemary angelic transmission. Now, we're going to get into the correspondences for you. So in this case, in this instance, the letter Mem, the Hebrew letter Mem, is not associated with a zodiac sign. It's not. And it's not associated with a planet. It's associated with an element, and the element is associated with is water. Of the 4 elements of fire, water, air, and earth, it's associated with water, okay? And it's associated with the Hangman tarot card, because the Hangman tarot card is associated with water and with Mem. So this is how the 22 major arcana of the tarot cards, the 22 major trump cards, are how they're associated with the 22 Hebrew letters, and we're going through each Hebrew letter and giving them so that you can see how it fleshes out. So we can kind of flesh it out for you so you can see how these things all come together and form a very beautiful Kabbalistic system that can be used for healing and for all kinds of helpful things, both physically and psychologically and spiritually and mentally and emotionally, and can be used to help. Kabbalah is a very important science because it brings together all the religions, and it brings together science and spirituality. It brings together spirituality and science and religion, and that's why it's so important as we become a global society and we become a more enlightened society that is able to go to the stars and go to the other planets and perhaps meet some ultra-dimensional beings and other beings that we share this universe with. Now, the element of water, again, the elemental archangel for water is the Archangel Gabriel. Gabriel, the archangel of all the water signs, who, when you're doing magic, would, in the earth coordinates, would be in the west, in celestial coordinates would be in the north. Again, for all the water signs in the zodiac, okay, Archangel Gabriel is the archangel for water, for water. Here we have a statue for Gabriel, for water. Water. Gabriel represents the emotions, especially love. It's the love of God in that manner. Is represented in a magical circle with a cup, usually painted blue with orange sigils on it, in order to, and I have such sigils, and I'll show you my cups and things, my cups and wands and pentacles and knives and things later that I have for the magical ritual that are painted in such a way. But and I do have some videos out there with that, but we'll get to that another time. But that is for Gabriel. Again, that is how to invoke, yeah? Invoke. Now, the zodiac angel, of course, is non-applicable in this case, since Mem, again, is not associated with the element, is not associated with a zodiac sign, is associated with an element, the element of water. Okay, now the gemstones for water, some very good gemstones for water. Here's one of these Kabbalistic correspondences that you can use to make amulets and rosary beads and magical jewelry. You can make bracelets like blue sapphire Blue sapphire is one of the gemstones for water. Aquamarine, opal, blue sapphire, moonstone, pearl, lapis lazuli. This kind of lapis lazuli, you can use that, and Christophorase, and also chalcedony. Okay, so these are kind of bluish and greenish, and kind of moonstone, kind of a little bit kind of white and blue and green, and the colors we associate and the energies we associate with water and the element of water. Thus, good for utilizing for Mem. And if you're going to do anything with the letter Mem and the 23rd path on the Kabbalistic tree, if you're going to do anything with these energies, these, again, the aquamarine, the opal, the blue sapphire, moonstone, pearl's another one, lapis lazuli, and Christophorase, and also chalcedony. Okay, now the alchemical metals for water. There are two metals you can associate with water. You can associate silver, which is associated with Luna or the moon, okay, and also tin, corresponding to Jupiter, which are both realistic and usable for this operation. Now, silver is found in the Sephira here of that's represented with the moon, Yesod, and El here for tin for Jupiter. So silver and tin, you're saying, well, they're not here and here, but these are Sephiras greatly associated with water. This is the god El, greatly associated with water. Okay, and this is the moon, again, greatly associated with water. Okay, now, and that's where they get those correspondences from. Now, the one recommendation as an author I'd like to give is that if you're going to use a rosary, or an amulet, if you're going to make an amulet or a rosary and use it, you can use it made with your choice of one of the gemstones we mentioned that we have already provided, and recite the Bible verses that I'm going to give you now to protect yourself and protect those that you care about. So remember, what you want to do is if you want to make an amulet, you get one of the stones, like you get wonderful blue sapphire. You make an amulet, to make the amulet base or bezel out of silver or tin. Very good water Mem element. You can write the letter M in Hebrew on it, in a Hebrew letter Mem, or you can write M in the English letter M, or you can write Mem, the word, out, and you can put the Gabriel, the Archangel Gabriel, those kind of things. And you can also you can go ahead and you can have a silver or tin bezel or base. Now you can also make a rosary beads with the beads made out of the gemstones of lapis lazuli or the blue sapphire, or you can make it with, as we said, the pearl, moonstone, all the other ones we talked about. Yeah, it'd be really beautiful. And the silver chain, rosary chain, or tin rosary chain. Tin and silver work very well for rosary chain. Tin is used a lot, but they can break easy if you wear it. I have one made of tin and blue pearl, and it's very good for this kind of water manifestation. And these are this is what you can use Kabbalah for, and why it's very, very good. Now you can also you can provide the Bible verses for yourself, and you can read them, and you can invoke the energies into the rosary and into the amulet, or you can make jewelry out of it. You can make bracelets. See this beautiful blue bracelet, or you can make rings, earrings, necklaces out of these things. It can be very beautiful. Now, the Hebrew letter, again, we're going to want to focus on, you're going to want to focus on Mem, and you're going to want to focus on the tarot card of the Hangman for water, okay? And you're going to want to focus on also the Archangel Gabriel with the letter Mem, okay? And you're going to be able to say the Psalm 119, and that's verses 97 to 104. So the biblical association for water, corresponding to the Hebrew letter Mem, you're going to want to go to Psalm 119, and you're going to want to look, and you're going to find Mem, okay? And then it's going to say, most Bibles will have the Hebrew letters in Psalms 119. It'll have the Hebrew letter in Psalm, the book of Psalms, in Psalm 119. And it'll say Mem, or if it doesn't say Mem, you can go to verses 97 to 104 will be it. And you can go ahead and read those. And I'm going to recite them for you now to invoke the energy. Webster Bible Translation. Oh, how I love thy law. It is my meditation all the day. Thou, though thy commandments hast made me wiser than my enemies, for they are ever with me. I have more understanding than all my teachers, for thy testimonies are my meditation. I understand more than the ancients, because I keep thy precepts. I have refrained my feet from every evil way, that I might keep thy word. I have not departed from thy judgments, for thou hast taught me. How sweet are thy words to my taste, yes, sweeter than honey to my mouth. Through thy precepts, I get understanding, therefore I hate every false way. And that is, again, Psalm 119, under the letter Mem, verses 97 to 104. That was Webster Bible Translation. That's how you invoke into the rosary, invoke into the amulet. Okay? Now, to continue, the magical talismans for protection or power. If you're going to make a talisman, so you make a representation, a picture, or a rendering of some kind, or an icon or statue that you can create, anything you create, or jewelry or whatever. Magical talismans for protection or for power or for manifestation should be completed 1 or 2 days before any particular astrology event takes effect. Some sorceresses and sorcerers complete talismans for astrology magic 1 to 2 weeks ahead of time for the purpose of imprinting relevant images upon the subconscious mind of predetermined audiences. When other astrological factors are taken into account, this could be done months or years in advance of the desired outcome. And this is what people do when they make movies, or they make sitcoms or commercials, or they make plays. It's been going on for eons when they make pictures or religions or any kind of, political thing. We have people in fancy dress, and you have people, acting out parts in a play, or in a church or in a temple or wherever, or in performance art. That is where this is coming from, or in paintings or in pictures or in photographs. This is what advertisement is, and the media is all about. That's what it's about. It's trying to get a predetermined outcome by presenting you with a certain picture at the right time, because the timing is there too. Now, when other astrological factors are taken into account, again, it can be done months or years ahead of the desired outcome, working through the Kabbalistic worlds. Now, the Kabbalistic worlds that are worked through are the worlds. Hebrew for world is olam, olam. So, Kabbalistic worlds, olam of Atzilut at the top, Bria, the second, then Yetzirah, and Asaya. These spiritual realms are respectively the worlds of emanation, Atzilut, creation, Bria, formation, Yetzirah, and action, that's for Asaya. Okay? And this is the way that it comes down through the worlds and into the manifested world of Asaya, of action, in the world of Malkuth. Now see, the colors here are all bright colors. They're all bright colors, angelic colors. The colors for the earth are olive and citrine and russet and black, and they're earth tones for earth. And that's where things manifest, where you plant a seed in the soil and you have these kinds of colors. We have like an olive tree or something like that, and you have these kinds of colors. Okay, so this is how, and then of course if you have trees that have very bright colors, they're coming up into angelic realms. But to not denigrate the realms of the earth, because what you walk upon, you depend on more than anything. So don't take lightly that which is beneath you, lest it crumble and you fall. Take care of what's beneath you. It's important. Okay? Don't think you're high and mighty and better than anybody else. If you don't take care of and respect what's beneath you, you will fall and crumble. If you take care of what's beneath you, and you don't think you're better than other people, but you understand that we all have a purpose that's equally important, although very different. We all have an equally important purpose and function that the Creator has given us. Teachings in the Zohar from Kabbalah. If you understand that, then it won't crumble, and you won't crumble, and you won't fall. Because why? Because you've taken care of that which is beneath you. You respect it because you stand on it. And maybe sometimes, the floor you stand on, you should go beneath and look and make sure it's stable. Okay? So always good to make sure that humbling yourself just means that you understand that which supports us is very, very important. It's just as important as anything else around us and in any of the other directions, whether above or in the four directions. That which is below is important as well. Okay. All right, the information found in the attached document and in this presentation and in this video is based on the oral tradition known as Kabbalah, taught to me by Rosicrucian clergy when I was but a young girl, the facts of which I've committed to memory. Thank you so much for joining us. Please join us again next time. We'll see you soon.